Whatever you heard is a lie. Your life is a lie. Today, I am here to set the record straight. You may have heard stories, you may have heard rumors, but today, I give you what really happened. Welcome to my channel. My name is Panda and let's get started. So today I have a story to tell you. You are probably wondering, oh, what story does she have for us today? Actually, the story is in the title, so that's basically about it. How a young innocent girl was cruelly punished because of a misunderstanding. So let me give you just a little backstory. So if you didn't know this about me, I went to school in Kumasi. I am from Kumasi. I lived there my whole life. And when I was there back in JHS, people were mean. People liked to spread rumors. So because of that, I didn't have the best reputation out there. So moving to Accra, coming to a new school, I was so happy, except for the fact that I would have to be in school with my juniors because I took like some time off before I went to high school. So that was the only downside, but I was happy. I'm like, hey, new city, new friends, new beginnings, new chapter in my life. So I go to this school, Christian High, Ghana Christian International High School. Let me say it that way, GCIHS. So I go there, and honestly, the first days weren't the best because I felt like I wasn't making any friends there. I felt like no one wanted to talk to me. I felt like I looked like trash every day, so I wasn't really like feeling the new fresh start vibes. But then I did make a couple of friends, so that's good. I don't want to be passing corners. I'm just going to go straight to the point in this video. So here's how it started. I started talking to this guy in school and we were talking. People knew we were talking. Some of my friends didn't want us to talk, but I was still talking. Anyway, we actually stopped talking for a while and it was just like them hi hellos when you see each other pass by. So it all happened the day before the last day of first term, when I was in first year and he was in final year about to write his A-levels. So I'm at the phone booth calling my mom like, hi mommy, you should come and pick me up this time tomorrow. And someone walks up to me like, hey, let's call him Joe. Someone's like, hey, Joe wants to talk to you, he's at the lover's bench. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. So I'm done with my call. I go to the lover's bench and he's sitting on one of the benches and I go sit by him and he's like, hi, how are you? Them things. So we are just there talking. It's in the evening and I wasn't even supposed to be out. It was only those who had something to do on their program list the following day for their Christmas service. So I wasn't doing anything, but he was a drummer, so he was allowed to be out. I wasn't allowed to be out. So we were just talking and one of the female prefects comes up to us and she's like, okay guys, you need to know that if you're not doing anything for tomorrow's program, you should be in the dorm because like it's already past lights out time, that kind of thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So I tell him, I'm like, Joe, okay, escort me to my classroom, let me get my bag so you can walk me to the dorm. And he's like, bet. So we are going and one of the teachers stops him like because he was doing something for the thing, so like they called him. So he's like, okay, you go and wait for me, I'm coming. So I go upstairs and I see a couple of my friends on the opposite side of where my class was. So I just go there and I'm standing by them and we are just talking and I see him come up the stairs and one of the guys is like, hey, your boyfriend is coming up. I'm like, stop, he is not my boyfriend. So I go meet him, then we are standing in front of my classroom now and we are just talking, chilling. Like, well, I'm getting pretty tired, so I should be heading to the dorm soon. And he's like, okay, but can we go somewhere more private? So you see, this is where everything really starts. He's like, can we go somewhere more private to talk? And I'm like, no one's really around here, and we're already talking, and I have to go to the dorm soon, so like there's no need. And he's like, come on, it won't take a while, we just talk a little. And I don't know whether I was so naive then, because I actually thought he just wanted to talk, but he didn't. So then he's like, check the bathroom to see if anyone is there. And my classroom is right next to the girls' bathroom, so he was talking about the girls' bathroom. And I was like, but are you crazy? That's the girls' bathroom. And he's like, yeah, I know, but you just check if anyone is there, we can go and talk there. And I'm like, why would you want to talk there? You are a boy. That is the girls' bathroom. And why would we even be talking in a bathroom when we are talking here? Like, but I wasn't wrapping my head around the situation that he didn't want to talk. I don't know. I guess I was just so dumb then or something. I don't know. So then he's like, come on, please just go check. It won't take a while. Then I'm like, fine. If I go and check, will you shut up? That kind of thing. Because I was actually getting annoyed because he kept on begging so much. And I really hate that thing. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go and check. So I go and check and I'm like, okay, there's no one here. And he comes in. And we're standing by one of the walls. And he just comes up to me and kisses me. And I'm like, bro, we are in the girls' bathroom and you are kissing me. Like, if anyone walks in, we could get into so much trouble for this. Okay, so like, I don't want to do this over here. We can do this some other time, some other place. You know. And he's just kissing me again, and I kiss back small. I'm not fully into it, but I kiss back small. He wants to turn things up. He's like, okay, give me a BJ. And I'm like, what? No.
Oh, no, ma'am. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Why would I do that? Like, we are in the freaking girls' bathroom. I don't want to go home. I don't want to get punished. So please, let's just go. And I have to get to the dorm, so let's just go. We will see each other tomorrow and we'll talk. Let's just go. And he's like, come on, it will be quick. Then I'm like, no, honestly, this is getting way out of hand. I just want to leave. And he pins me up against the wall and he's kissing me forcefully. And I'm trying to push him off. And that's when we hear the door open and someone gasp like, but then we turn and no one is there. I was like, oh my god, was that a ghost? But then the person ran out quickly. This person too, I know who you are. They told me who you were. Are you proud of yourself? Have you seen what you've caused me? Have you seen? You destroyed my life. Anyway, so this person apparently went to go and call the housemaster, and the housemaster was with some other boys who were seniors. So they came to the bathroom and they were about to open the door. Then Joe quickly ran and he pushed himself up against the wall to block them from coming in. And they are knocking, they are banging on the door like, open up, let me in. And I'm like, Joe, see, right now they know we are in here. We can't stay in here forever. Okay, let's just go and we'll explain ourselves, and hopefully nothing bad will happen. So then he still doesn't want to, because he's panicking. He's in panic mode. Then he runs into one of the stores, leaving the door open. So then they come in and they see me and I'm just like, he's in there. So they go opening up the stores one by one looking for him, and like he's hiding in one of the stores and they see him and like, both of you follow me. That's the housemaster talking. So we follow him downstairs. We're sitting at the teacher's table and they bring us a piece of paper like, okay, so now write your statement, write what happened. What were you doing in the girls' bathroom at this time? What was going on? Tell us. So he nudges me and it's like, hey, this is what we should write. Write that we were talking in front of your classroom and I had to pee so bad, but because the boys' bathroom was all across all the way to the other side. I wanted to use the girls' bathroom real quick. That's what happened. Then I'm like, I don't feel so comfortable lying about this situation. And at that time, I was calm because I'm used to getting myself into trouble and lying my way out of it. Like, I can come up with lies on the spot, so I wasn't worried that much. But then at that moment, I actually couldn't think of any lie. So I'm just like, oh, fine, I'll write that. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but at least it's something. And my biology teacher comes, then he's looking at me like so disappointed in me, and he's like a friend and a father to me. So I was so sad and so embarrassed. Like, I felt like I just disappointed him so much, and I was like, oh my gosh, please stop looking at me, please stop looking at me. So then we both write what happened and we go to the dorm. And at this point, I'm afraid to enter my dorm because his sister is in my dorm, and I heard that she was crying and shit. So I was really scared to enter because her bed was also close to mine. So like, I was really scared to enter the dorm. So I just went to the now empty box room, and I was there with a couple of my friends, and they were like, oh my gosh, we had something happen. What happened? Then I tell them everything that happened, and I tell them about the part where he told me to lie in the statements. Then they're like, oh my gosh, no, you shouldn't lie, because if the truth really comes out, you're going to get into more trouble, that kind of thing. I'm like, damn, girls, you're right, I shouldn't be lying. The truth will set me free. The truth will set you free. Always tell the truth. That's just by the way. So then I go to my house mistress, and I'm like, hey miss, so I kind of lied in my statement, so could I please get like another paper and write what really happened? And she's like, you shouldn't have lied. I'm like, yeah, I know. So then she gives me a new paper, and I write what happened, like everything that happened, like what I'm telling you. But what I'm telling you could be cap. We don't know. I could be lying to you. This isn't the truth, maybe. But then,
I guess we'll never know.
so I write what happened, like I said, and I go back to my friends, and now I want to sleep, but I can't enter my dorm. So then I just, after a while of talking to my friends, I just enter the dorm and I go straight to bed. Like, I don't look at no one, I don't talk to no one, I just go on my bed and I sleep. So the next day arrives, and it's the day of the Christmas program. So after the program, and like during the program, I could feel eyes on me. People were really staring. Like all eyes were on me, and I was feeling so uncomfortable because sometimes I like attention, but I don't like this kind of attention. But so after the program, I see him, then I'm like, hey, okay, I need to tell you something. He's like, what? And I'm like, so remember yesterday how you made me lie in the statement? So well, when I went back to the dorm, I was feeling bad about lying, so I went and I wrote the truth. And he's like, oh my gosh, no, you shouldn't have done that, because now mine will be different from yours, and then they'll realize I was lying, and they'll realize that you lied too in the beginning, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I really wasn't comfortable lying, because if the truth comes out, like if I had lied and the truth had come out, like it wouldn't have been a good situation. But he's like, oh, fine. So the day ends and I go home, and that Christmas break was the most uncomfortable one for me. Like, it was the most uncomfortable vacation I had ever had in my life. I didn't tell my mother, I didn't tell my sisters, like I didn't talk to no one except for my teacher, because I just kept on texting him like, oh my gosh, Mr. Distin, I don't know what to do. It's not like I've forgotten his name, I just don't want to say his name. Like, Mr. Distin, I've forgotten, hey, I don't know what to do. I'm nervous, I'm shaking, like what's going to happen? And because it was like the day before vacation, they couldn't really do anything about it, because I don't even think the principal was around or something. So I had to wait till the next term, then they discuss everything with like the board, and they tell us what's going to happen. So like that whole vacation, I was just, and something too was happening that vacation which I will not disclose. But if you want to know, you can text me on Snapchat and I'll tell you if I feel comfortable telling you. So the days pass very, very slowly, and it's second term. We're back in school. And we go to school on Sunday. So Monday I was in class now. Then someone came like, Anne Marie, the chaplain is looking for you. And I was like, Jan Jan, it has started. It's about to go down.
Like it's about to go down.
I wasn't prepared for what was going to happen. So I get there, I get to his office, and I open the door, and lo and behold, Joe is sitting there already, and I'm like, so I sit down. The chaplain is like, he has this calm voice. It's like, I guess you already know why you're here. And I'm like, no. And at this time, I was beginning to panic. Like, when the whole situation was happening, you see, I told you I was calm and everything. But at this point, I had lost it. I was sweating. I was shaking. Everything's done. So then, he's talking and he's like, so we discussed the matter with the first. He makes us say what really happened. So, like, we both tell the truth from our sides. And this time, he tells the truth. Then he's like, so why did you lie in the statement? That kind of thing. Because what you're saying is completely different from what I have here. I'm like, yeah, we lied, but like, we realized that the best thing to do is to come clean. Thinking we're going to get on his good side by saying we wanted to tell the truth. Like, well, we've discussed the issue with the board. We've gone over the handbook, and honestly I feel like they didn't use the handbook to give us our punishments, because from the punishment they gave us and from what was in the, I don't remember what was in the handbook, but I remember it was different, because even my sister was like, so if they are going by the handbook, why did they give you this punishment, that kind of thing. So anyways, like, so we've gone over the handbook, we've discussed with the board, and we've come to a decision. We've come to a final decision on what is going to happen. Like, Anne Marie, you are going to be suspended for 3 weeks. Joe, you are expelled. It's like, expelled. I was just like, come again? Like, I wasn't even shocked about mine, but like him getting expelled was, I was like, oh my gosh, is this my fault? Like, no, it's not my fault. It was actually his fault. It was both our faults. It's like, well, we're going to have to announce this in front of the whole school. So, Anne Marie, we've already called your parents, they're on their way here. And like, Charlie, it was bad. So then he lets us go, and I think after that he immediately goes home or something. I think like his parents come like this and they just take him home. Like, they give us time to go to the dorm and pack our stuff and just leave the school. I was like, damn. Like, I actually wanted to cry, because he was about to write his A-levels and expelled just like that. Like, wow, that's tough. I don't remember if it's lunchtime or something, but all I know is that I'm sitting at my table with my class girls, and he comes to give an announcement. Then he's like, well, as you all may know already, this happened before the Christmas break last year. So then we've come to a decision. Anne Marie has been suspended for 3 weeks and Joe has been expelled. Everyone's like, he's just talking amongst themselves, like, quiet. Then he's like, Anne Marie, please stand up. And that was the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to me, having to stand up in front of the whole school, and my table was in front, so it was basically like I was standing where he was standing. My table was one of the first tables on the first row, so I was just there. So I stood up, and everyone was just, I could feel everyone staring at me. Like, everyone was behind me, but I could feel everyone staring at me. But I just breathed, just in, out. And he's like, okay, you can sit down now. Like, why did you even make me stand? Doesn't everyone already know who Anne Marie is? By this time, everyone knows Anne Marie, so there was no point in making me stand. I will never forget that day. But it's all good now. It's all good. It's in the past. This happened like 4 years ago. So my mom and one of my sisters comes and they come pick me up. My mother doesn't talk to me. She doesn't say a word. I greet, no response. And the drive from Christian High to anywhere is so long because Christian High is in the middle of nowhere. We get home and it's like, okay, family meeting time. Tell us what happened. Then I'm just like, I was feeling so uncomfortable. Like I couldn't even speak. So like eventually I spoke to my sister. I told her everything. Then I think she explained to my mother or something. Like my mother was still pissed, but I guess she wasn't as pissed, understanding that it wasn't completely all my fault, even though I basically allowed him to come into the, actually it is my fault. I'm accepting the fault for this, because if I had just stayed strong and hadn't allowed him to come into the bathroom, none of this would have happened. But then again, I wouldn't be sitting here telling you this very interesting story, so I'm grateful it happened. No regrets, right? My suspension was very uncomfortable. I didn't have my phone or anything. My mother just made me stay in the room and learn. So that was all I did for the 3-week suspension. So going back to school, and our school has so many rules, and one of the rules is that your hair shouldn't be like longer than shoulder length. So like if your braids are this long, it's not allowed. But let me tell you, I came back to the school with some ass length hair. My hair reached my ass and it was just flowing, but like I tied it into a bun because I didn't want anyone to see how long the hair was at that time. So then I go to school and we get there when it's lunchtime, so everyone is already in the MPH. So I'm just walking, dragging my suitcase, and everyone was staring at me. Like everyone was judging me. Like I could hear everyone talking. I could hear whispers. Like people were looking and pointing. I'm like, wait and let me pass before you gossip. What's this? Like some judgments. The judges were really interesting.
The judges are interesting. Their judgment was interesting.
It's not as if they haven't done worse things in their life, but because they haven't been caught, they think they're the good ones. So we go to the principal's office. The vice principal actually were in her office, and the chaplain was there, and my mom and my sister were there. We were all just like discussing coming back to school and like how to get back on track and everything. And there was a small disagreement between my mom and sister and the chaplain. And I don't really remember what happened, but like they were arguing back and forth, but that's just unnecessary at this point. I go back and I take my stuff to the dorm and I go sit for lunch, and afterwards I catch up with one of my friends who was in my class, and she was talking about how people in my class and even my teachers were like, oh nah, this girl won't be able to come back, like she'll probably leave the school, or like she won't be able to come back this day. Like everyone knew this was the day I was supposed to come back, and people were like, oh nah, she won't be able to come back. But then I came. I came back. And she was just filling me in about the people who were talking bullshit behind my back, and I was like, thank you very much, I know them now. So that's basically the whole story. And honestly, the aftermath wasn't the best either, because every December people would talk about it again. It kept on coming back, and like that issue never stopped. I don't know, but like people had gotten punished for other reasons, and it's not as if people weren't punished and like suspended afterwards after my own, but like my own was the one that stood there. Like my own was the one that stood out. Only me. Why? Everyone talked about it like almost every freaking day. Something had to remind me of it. Someone had to remind me of it. And this dude started calling me washroom. You know yourself. We're friends now, but you know yourself. I didn't like that. Don't call me washroom. And every time it was December, then one time I was working with this dude, And it was like that evening before, then he was walking with people. I was like, hey, 1 year anniversary. And I'm like, bro, I'm standing right here. Do you not see me? Do you not see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? Why don't you see me? I'm right here. So disrespectful. And like with every new batch that kept on coming to the school, even those in JHS, like everyone it was like some kind of initiating process. When you enter the school, they had to tell you about the story about how Anne Marie got suspended. I'm like, and then Joe got expelled. I'm like, bro. But anyway, that's basically what happened. So now you know the truth. Whatever you heard was a lie. Whatever you heard we did in the bathroom was a lie. People were saying that they caught us having sex in the bathroom. That was a big lie. Please. It's not true. I hope you enjoyed this truth-telling moment. If you like this video, leave a like down below. Subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. And follow me on my social medias. It's not medias because and follow me on my social media. Bye. See you in my next video.
I don't know if I